This is Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff after a bit of a hiatus.
Yay.
Yay. We're
Fo-
back. We're back. We're back.
Football's over.
Oh,
Wah, wah, wah.
Today
So
is
sad.
Wednesday, February 14th, and we have been away for a bit, but first, during that time, we've had two birthdays. Count them, two birthdays within the group. Happy birthday to Jim and Alex.
Thank you. Thank you.
thank you. Thank you.
Alex
Dankeschön.
has reached a landmark birthday.
I
This is
did.
where you can stop caring.
I thought about that today. I'm like, I wonder if any of the other ones are ever going to bother me.
You never have to care again.
I turned 30 for everyone out there listening. Gonna rip the Band-Aid off. 30.
There it is, Jim. We will not talk about how old Jim is.
No, I'm
Unless, unless,
38.
unless Jim chooses to talk about this.
38 doesn't matter.
Thank
Like
you. That makes me feel good that you were willing to put that out there and say it doesn't matter.
I'm
Like, I
telling
know.
you, once you turn 30, everything else just doesn't. You get ready to die.
Oh,
Like it does.
Very morbid.
that was kind of not as helpful as I thought it was going to be now.
I mean, what do you want to celebrate 40? That's you just another step closer to death.
I
50,
didn't
gonna
want
die. Like you're now over the gravy train, bud.
Okay.
All right. Well, on a positive note,
That took a spin.
Alex, Nate, and me attended a fundraising event last weekend where we were able to listen to ESPN college baseball analyst and the voice of college baseball, Mike Rooney.
That looks fun. I don't know. Was it?
Yeah, Mike
Uh,
Reedy was good. Very
Yeah.
Yeah, I
good
thought
speaker.
It was a good time. You can see a quick picture of Alex, Nate, and myself at this event. We were supporting a local college athletic program, baseball program.
Did you gamble? Was there
yes,
gambling?
Alex, go ahead. You were very much into this.
I was into it. You can go and bet on pretend horses.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so there were 10 races, and you have to bet in increments of $2. And I
Okay.
bet on, well, there were 9 races. No, 10. I bet on 9 of 10.
And it's
I
legal.
won one.
It's fundraiser, Jib. Everything's legal when you're raising money.
Ah,
But
Yeah,
Alex also had the bad luck of picking the most popular horse.
Yes, I did do that a lot. So then the odds were smaller.
Skeeter on my Peter.
Peter on my Peter.
Alex's favorite horse of the night.
That was my favorite horse.
Alex, when he went up to the quote unquote betting window, you just slap your $2 down and say whack it off.
Yeah. Yes, I was like, there's a skeeter on my Peter. Whack it off. They liked it.
I'm very happy with you in this whole event.
They liked it. Alex, we all had a good time.
Yeah, we did.
We were able to hang out, have a few food brews, get some good food, and
Good.
hang out with the people.
I will say I didn't know you got to name the horse if you bought one, and I would have bought one. So I'm gonna start now thinking about what my horse's name next year is gonna be.
Is there going to be a next year? That's my next question.
This was, I believe, very successful for this athletic program financially. So I would assume they're going to have a next year.
Is there a reason why we're saying athletic program and not highlighting the program itself? Like, why are we on the podcast not shouting it out?
That's West Liberty University baseball program. I believe this is through their foundation account. So yeah, it was supporting the program.
Okay.
If that's
I didn't know if there was a reason. That's all.
we tagged them all in our social media posts.
That's what I thought. So I
no-
thought,
no
like,
worries.
why are we being
So-
all sketch about it?
So shout out baseball.
Baseball. Yay.
Nate's getting ready for baseball. Nate.
Yep, I'm actually a month or less than a month away now from scrimmage number 1.
You doing deep squats, are you?
I'm doing no squats. I'm
Okay.
probably going to regret not doing said squats.
Yeah.
Uh,
Gonna pull a hammy.
Or like everybody else in the NFL, hopefully I don't pull out Achilles.
Ooh, we will get to that. There is lots to catch up on this week, including the big game. Alan or Jason Kelsey, not Alan from The Hangover, but Jason Kelsey. Our favorite PGA event, the Waste Management Open. Caitlin Clark about to make women's basketball history and potentially all college basketball history when all is said and done with her career this year and other important sports stories from the past 2 weeks. Before we get into that, first, rest in peace, Carl Weathers.
Season piece.
Apollo Creed. Rest in peace.
Cubs.
Yeah, thank you, Chubbs.
So, thanks again, as everybody, to always interacting with our content on the socials. Make sure you get in there, see what's going on. We'll see. We're not sure what's going to happen over the past month, but you can follow us at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter. Sports Stuff W/Jim Emerson Muff on Facebook, on YouTube. Subscribe, comment, rate, review, poke, like, tickle.
Get the bell on.
Ding ding.
Bring, bring,
So I
bring.
mean, you did hint at it. Are we going to continue? Are we taking a little break over the next month and coming back at March for the March Madness? Or is it still tentative?
I think it's still tentative. See where things are falling. See what kind of news we have to chat about. I think that's
Gotcha.
really what this comes down to. Is there's a lot. If there's enough going on for us to chat about, we'll do something.
Gotcha.
We'll stay relevant somehow, some way.
You're
Gotcha.
not.
Daytona's next week.
I've
Things
seen
that are relevant.
Turn left.
turn left many times.
Yeah.
How many
Actually, Daytona's
times
this
do they-
week.
How many times do they turn left, Jim?
Ooh,
Isn't it 500?
4
2, 3, 4
No.
a lap,
4 a lap, and I
500
think it's
miles.
but I think it's a 2-mile track. It's 250 times 4.
1,000 lefts.
1,000.
1,000 laps.
It's a lot
One of
of
these
laps.
times they screw with them and say, "All right, guys, we're going in reverse. Everybody's doing right turns today."
But we're at.
That'd be wild.
That would require a whole lot of vehicle shuffling.
This
and
is the race
fine-tuning.
though that this is the one. This is the one where I tend to drink and only beer, and I drink at Rex. So, and I bet on this one.
I drink it, Rex. I like it.
Only during the big ones. Let's get into Super Bowl 57. As
So
the
before
Chiefs.
I don't, I'm going to take over from it, Muff. I'm not going to let you deep dive and get into all the things. I genuinely want to know. Don't give me any details. I would just want off the cuff reaction when I say the words. What did you think of the Super Bowl? Like, what is your generalized reaction to that statement? Go.
Good game.
Good game. Okay. Muff.
Exciting at the end.
Okay. Nate.
First half dud, second half lived up to the hype.
Okay. Okay.
Jim,
See,
Jim.
I would agree with all those statements. I would say all that. I can tell you that the fanfare in Columbus, and I would generally say like TikTok, Twitter, was disappointment.
Well, you just said once you reach 30, you're preparing to die. So I feel like you live in a different algorithm than the rest of us.
Could be.
And
But,
plus, you're in Columbus, so everything's always falling.
right, exactly. But I was glad that the three of you had the same feeling I had because I was with you guys.
Yeah, no, and I mean, if you'd asked me that at halftime, I'd have been like, boring. But my lasting impression will be the end of that game.
Sure.
Not.
Oh, so when Travis and Taylor were on the field, Alex?
Was that going to be a memory you hold on
That was
forever?
not. I left.
Is that
before I
gonna
had to
be?
watch that.
You're gonna take that picture
No,
in your
I
mind?
left. I left before I had to watch that, so I would be driving home and couldn't.
So you could shake it off. Shake it off.
Your pains in my asses.
The Chiefs do win 25-22 in overtime. Before the game even started, we had Post Malone with the performance of, what did he sing? America's
Beautiful, something like that.
America's Beautiful. So what do we think? What do we think about Post's performance?
Probably the most musical of the bunch, besides
I didn't
Reba.
really get to listen to it because my dad kept saying, "Do you know who this guy is?" This guy. Look at what's wrong. What's on his face? You know who this guy is? So I didn't really get to focus on his performance.
I'm not like a huge Post Malone fan overall, but I enjoyed his rendition.
But yeah, from what I heard, it sounded good.
I wasn't mad about it.
All right. And then we had Reba doing the national anthem, which was controversial because of her second singing of the word brave, to putting it over the 90-second mark.
But everybody knew it was going to go long. Like the word on the street was, "Oh, Reba gonna go long."
I don't know. At first, she seemed like she was going to fly through it.
We had a laugh. There was like this African American girl that sang the song before Post Malone, and I feel bad. I don't know who it was because again, my family was doing all their stuff, and I wasn't paying super a lot of attention. My pap turned around and like he's like, "Oh, who is that?" And my brother looked at him dead serious and was just like, "Reba McEntire." He's like, "Really?" And we just died. Like it's like he has no pop culture, like whatever. And I was like,
Right.
what do you think about it, Pap? I'm like, you know Reba, the show? He's like, yeah. I'm like, that's Reba McEntire. He's like, oh. He's like, well, that's not her. We're like, yeah, we know.
It's Andra Day.
Oh, okay.
Lift every voice and sing. It's a
That's the song. Yeah. Like I said,
traditional African American spiritual.
I knew it had something to do with that, and my bad for not being.
I like how Muff, our guy, knows what's up. Thank you, Muff.
He does. That's why I
Lift
said I
every
apologize for not being
voice
culturally.
and
Oh, he said,
sing.
"Give us a rendition." Get it?
I don't
son?
know much outside of the chorus of that,
My man.
so yeah, we had all that fanfare before the game even started. I think the game started a little after time scheduled, I think a minute or
Okay.
two late. We've
I
already talked
noticed you
about.
don't have anything about SpongeBob in the notes.
I didn't have anything about the Nickelodeon broadcast because I did not watch the SpongeBob rendition of what song was it?
Uh,
So
oh,
you didn't watch it either, and you're the one that's got kids.
Sweet, sweet
Yeah.
victory.
Yes, bittersweet victory or whatever it is.
I clicked over. So to be real blunt, both my kids watched the entire Super Bowl, which to get them to sit down peacefully and watch a football game was hard
Yeah.
all season. But Taylor Swift bought them in. Sorry, Alex. Um, but I flipped over to be like, all right, these kids have watched the whole first half on regular. Like maybe I should let them
Yeah.
like hit it down for them. And I made it through one series of SpongeBob and Patrick, and my oldest was like, "This is stupid." I was like, "Yeah," and my 4-year-old was like, "Dad, turn it back. This is bad." I was like, "All right, like the crowd has it."
So
I've never been more proud in my life.
Yeah.
so they would rather listen to Tony Romo?
Oh,
Surprisingly, surprisingly,
They
I
hear
think
him try to sing?
it was better than like Nickelodeon had a walking lobster on the field during the plays, and it was literally pissing off my kids. Like, Dad, the lobster doesn't belong on the field. And it was like, I know, guys, it's Nickelodeon.
I also saw a clip too where they showed Dora and Boots talking about what a false start was.
I also watched that clip.
And the holding penalties. Swiper, no holding.
Swiper, no.
I had to laugh at the one part too when they showed, I think it was McCaffrey's fumble. And then Patrick Starr goes, "You have to firmly grasp it."
That is a good one. I was watching with someone who's very uneducated in the world of what football is and what is not, and I was like, that right there was a sack. They're like, oh, was that a foul? And I was like, no, that's good. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we talked about the lackluster first half. Unless you're a defensive enthusiast, as Andy Reid would say, how about that D, baby?
I liked it. I was a fan of it.
Do you feel like you're watching Iowa?
Yeah, a little bit.
But still
A
more
little bit.
points. Still more points than Iowa would have been a part of in the first half.
Absolutely.
We did have Dre Greenlaw's Achilles injury while coming onto the field after a punt.
It was the turf.
I don't
know.
I don't
Looked like
think
he
we can
just
attribute this one to
stepped
the turf,
weird.
Jim.
It was the turf. I'm telling
I think
you.
it's just embarrassing that it happened that like not even the game. I shouldn't say embarrassing, maybe even just like
It's
sad.
unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's a good
No,
one.
I agree with you though. I think there is some form of embarrassment for him, whether it's valid or not. The
Yeah,
fact that like he was trying to get out there and like, oh shit, I broke myself and I didn't even it wasn't
Mhm.
even in a play. I think even I
yeah.
would be like, this sucks.
You know what I think
I
this
would be
is?
embarrassed if it happened, is what I mean. Not like it's embarrassing, like wow, he's an
Right.
idiot.
Yeah.
I think this is the revenge of Big Dom from Philadelphia.
Hmm.
Dre Greenlaw was the guy that got into it with Big Dom and got him kicked out of
Yeah,
games
that's
for the rest of
true.
the season.
I think it's the turf.
I think it's Big Dom striking back, and we just
Taking
don't know
the
how.
turf.
I blame the turf.
I'd like to have an educated opinion on why the turf did this, Jim.
Turf reached up and
Hilltoppers.
grabbed him. Hilltoppers.
Turf. It's turf.
In the first half, we also had a field goal record set and then reset.
Yeah.
Jake Moody hit what was Moody's 55 or 56, and then Bucker did 57.
55.
I think it was
Yeah,
55.
55. Then Tucker. Yep, 55, 57.
Talk about the shortest Super Bowl record ever.
Right.
Also in the
Good
first
grief.
half, we had Taylor Swift chugging some wine.
Was it wine?
I guess it was wine.
I
I
thought it
know.
was
It was
You know
beer.
what?
Maybe
In
it was
that,
champagne.
I
I
was
don't know.
Team Taylor in this situation. Like, let her live her life.
Who else was there? There's Blake Lively there. There was Taylor. There was
Ice Spice.
I don't know who
Ice Spice?
I know who Ice Spice is now, but there was one other person that I didn't see anybody talking about, and I have no idea who
Oh,
it was. The blonde. It was another blonde that was sitting beside Taylor Swift.
yeah.
I just don't know who it is. But anyway, if
Uh,
somebody can figure that out, I was just curious because like this is the only
Blake
person.
Lively was on point. Good for
Yes,
her.
she was mouthing F words, and I'm sure that was great influence for your children.
Hey, great
Eh,
influence from me, bud.
fair enough. We had Travis Kelce committing some geriatric abuse on Andy Reid,
Are
allegedly.
we gonna deep dive on this?
What's there to deep dive on?
Oh, Nate.
He got
Oh,
intense. It's only not a non-issue because they won and they can laugh about it afterwards.
And he
If
did
they
No.
don't win,
So
if they don't win,
there is a sect of people.
is this a Columbus thing?
No, this is an internet thing.
Okay.
You have psychologists, you have counselors, you have Swifties, a group of Swifties who are fearful for Miss
Yeah.
Taylor Swift that this is a sign of anger issues and anger management problems for Travis, and are saying that this is a problem, and think about what happens in their relationship if he's willing to abuse an old man who happens to be his boss.
I disagree with that theory. I think that there's a big difference between being amped up in the moment of a Super Bowl game and like chest bumping him, and then afterward talking about the fact that you're just worked up and it happened, than like being like, yeah, he probably beats women too. Because like when I'm in sports game like mode, I would be like amped up and I probably wouldn't like chest bump at my coach angrily, but I've gotten angry before and not been like, I'm gonna go home and beat a woman.
That's the jump that's being made. And it's not just one. Like there is a large sect of people that's saying red flag,
I'm not
beware
saying it's a good
Taylor.
look. But I don't think it's like a sign that she's gonna get like abused.
And they're going back so far in the season to say, like, remember that time he threw his helmet? Same thing. Taylor, beware. Now, they neglect to say, like, do we remember when he did throw his helmet and then Andy chest bumped him?
Yeah.
Like, that is their relationship. We're very much trying to cancel Travis so that he breaks up with Taylor, and we're going down that road. But it's a big deal. I mean, for 15 minutes of fame.
You know, this has such a strong impact on my life, Jim. I don't know how I'm going to deal with it.
I know. But the algorithms.
I don't know how I'm going to sleep anymore.
I know.
Worrying about Taylor Swift's well-being.
Yeah,
I know.
the madman.
Madman. Then we got into the halftime show.
Oh, here's some other stories for you.
Usher, Alicia Keys, Lil Jon, and Luda Luda.
Was that Will I Am in the mask
Yeah.
helmet thing?
And I guess that girl's name is Her. Like it's her.
Yeah, her,
Her
yeah.
was on there as
Yeah.
well. I forgot about that. I kind of didn't watch all of this, so I'll let
First
you all.
off, Luda looks like he was a member of the dodgeball team with Ben Stiller.
Mm-hmm.
Alicia Keys, hot damn. God, that girl.
Yeah.
What
What do you think her husband thought of that performance?
I don't really give a shit. I know what I thought of it. Break me off a piece of that.
Wait, say that again.
Break me off a piece of that.
Okay.
Cat bar.
Like fine wine. Alicia's my girl. Preach.
I thought Megan Thee Stallion was your girl.
Also my girl, but like
There's room for more than one.
Megan Thee Stallion, you don't bring home to the parents. Alicia, you can bring home to the parents.
So are you calling Megan Thee Stallion a side hoe?
Yes.
Jesus. All right.
It's kind of fair to be honest.
Turn down for what, Lil Jon? Shots. All the things.
I thought he was good. I thought he was good.
I thought the halftime show was good. I enjoyed it.
How about whenever
Usher took his shirt off, which apparently was a prop bet.
Well, how about whenever during that same bit, did you see how bad he was sweating?
It was rough.
He gets it. I mean, he gets after it. He's no spring chicken. He's like mid.
But this was like a 10 or 15-minute performance, and it looked like he just got out of the damn ocean.
Bold move on the roller skates too. Bold move.
I thought that a little bit. There's a chance that could have gone south.
That a lot of people bitching about the sound quality.
About the Usher's voice, or just generally?
Generally, the quality of sound across the board, blaming the engineering of the Super Bowl team of the halftime show.
Was it just the people watching it from home or the people watching it live?
I think both, but very strong on the TV side.
I had no problems with mine.
I didn't either, so I didn't really understand, like, but whatever.
The only thing that I don't like about these kind of performances, though, which I get it, everybody does it, is I don't like when the performers, like, track is playing in the background and you can still hear the vocals. Like, if I'm going to go to a show and watch a person live, I want to hear them, not the pre-recorded shit.
Yeah, I agree. I think we should have seen more Alicia Keys. I think it would have enhanced the performance.
Well, I don't think they really get paid much. Right? I don't think they get paid much to do these shows. I think they count on the residual income and the bump.
Yeah, Usher dropped an album too.
Right.
Like
So
he's getting all kinds of plays.
Yeah. So that's what it is. But I've only heard overall positive things about halftime, right? And this was, at least for Jim and I, this was aimed directly at our demographic.
Well, and that's the thing, like we were talking about, I think that like even me and Nate's demographic, I think we cover that span of like, okay, Nate and I were in like late elementary school, middle school, when we start kind of getting into like pop music.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys were at that age where you are into it. You know what I mean? So there is, I think, a spectrum of people. But it seems like every year people have been ripping on the halftime show for the last few years, and this year it seems like more positive for the first time in a while. So
Heck, my mom was even into it, singing along.
yeah.
Ooh.
My dad said he liked the second half. He's like, once they started dancing into the roller skates, like he enjoyed the like performance aspect of it. Like he's like, I don't like the music, it's not my thing. But the first half, he was like, I was kind of bored.
And he was entertained.
Yes. Are you not yet entertained?
Oh, you're not entertained. Getting into the third quarter, where we had a streaker, or at least a partial streaker.
He tried to do, so I found an in-depth close-up picture. He tried to do the G-string bikini streaker thing. Couldn't get his pantalones off. And then just
maybe you should do that before you jump the.
So now you're just stuck in a jail cell with a bunch of tough guys, and you're wearing a G-string.
Yeah, but with your shorts on, it looks funny. People be like, "What the hell did you do, you idiot?"
It was funny.
We're planning.
It's funny hearing Romo talk about like Romo was like, and we got a streaker. I know I'm not allowed to talk about it, but there is one.
There is one.
Well, like Muff said in the one video we saw, as soon as the guy slid down, he immediately put his hands behind his back.
Yeah, he knew it was up.
He's like,
Well,
there's
that's
no
at
reason
least
for me
if
to
he didn't
fight
want
this.
tased.
I'm not gonna let you James Harrison me. Just take me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I want the taser here. Just we're good.
I've done my
Yep.
piece. I've had my 3 to 5 seconds of fame, and we're done.
I don't understand the streaking like premise. Like, did somebody pay him to do it?
Probably because there's prop bets is there going to be a streaker. So
Like, hey.
he probably told all his friends, bet big, and I'll be the one to do it. Just give me a cut of the money.
Oh well. So which one of us would be the streaker, and which one of us
Alex.
is like, yeah,
Well, that's fair.
we get him
Alex,
drunk
sorry,
enough,
bud.
he would do it.
Sorry, bud. I feel like you win the cake.
He would do it
Cake
for
of the
the
cake on
beer.
this one.
Yeah. Enough bush lattes.
There we
That's
go.
true.
Overall in this game, obviously we know the outcome. Special teams had a big role as we had the 2 long field goals. We had overall great punting performances, good specialist situations, aside from the turnover on the Kansas City punt that actually hit one of the 49ers blockers, and then Ray McLeod tried to make a play on it to prevent the turnover, and he just created even more of an issue. So I think that was one of the turning points in this game. We also had a blocked point after, which may have been the deciding factor in this game going to overtime.
Yeah.
I mean, at least by the score, right? You can say that point did it. You never know how things are going to play out after that if things are different, but definitely on the scoreboard, it makes sense. So we get into overtime after the Chiefs find their way from double-digit points down, which in every one of their Super Bowl victories, they have been down by at least 10 points in these 3 Super Bowls in the Patrick Mahomes era. And then we have the explanation of the overtime rules to the world.
Well, before we go there, like, if you don't want somebody to say it's rigged, right? Stop banging it into our heads that the Chiefs make these 10-point comebacks. How many freaking times are you gonna say, well, they always make a comeback and they make a 10-point comeback, 10-point comeback, 10-point comeback? Like, eventually you go, we get it, they're gonna make a comeback.
You want me to
Like,
give you
it's in the script.
You want me to give you an even better stat or interesting stat, Jim?
Sure.
In the 3 Chiefs Super Bowl wins, they have had 0 offensive holding calls.
See what I'm saying? You see? Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. So we have the explanation. Hey, we're starting the game over, which is pretty much the best explanation I think you can get about what this looks like. And each team will get to possess the ball unless a defensive touchdown happens on the first possession, right? That's the goal here. The 49ers win the toss and choose to take the ball first, which Kyle Shanahan has been getting some blowback from. What do we think about this decision, regardless of what the outcome was, of the justification of we want to be able to have the ball third and win the game if that's what this comes down to?
When he first live decided to go on offense first, I'm like, why? And then later on, like you said, thinking, okay, if we score, they score, and we're tied, now the next score wins and it's our ball. That I completely understand. I never thought of that. But at the same time, it's after I thought about it again, it's like your defense was just out there for the game tying drive for so long. You need to get them a break. So I'm like, okay, now I get it.
That
Yeah,
was
I think
the
there's
theory.
some
That was the theory my dad and I came up with was rest your defense.
Right. And people were trying to liken this to the college game, and it's not the same because you're not starting at the 25, right? You actually have to drive the ball. It's actually in the regular course of action of the game.
Well, and I saw people too that were confused. They're like, "Oh my gosh! Of course the Chiefs score with like 3 seconds left." It's like, no, if they don't score there, we keep playing.
Yeah, it's like,
at that point,
it goes to overtime. Overtime quarter 2.
Right. I don't even know why they even put a game clock up there. It's irrelevant.
We should just do the college football overtime. Like, let's just do that. A lot more exciting. A lot easier for the fan to understand.
Well, we don't want the college football overtime now, where you go for 2 after 3 possessions.
Yeah, I do.
You do it in the NFL?
Yes.
Oh, I firmly disagree. You want the
You'd
Super
rather-
Bowl to be
you'd
you want
rather-
the Super Bowl to be decided by 3-yard plays.
Yes.
I would rather be decided by that than just watching them keep going drive after drive after drive.
So are Jim and Nate, are you both on in the NHL playoffs of shootouts?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. And this is why Jim doesn't like baseball, right there. I think we've hit the nail on the head. Other thoughts on the whole overtime situation? The 49ers not necessarily kicking the field goal and not going for it on 4th down. Do we have any issues there? I'm assuming not.
No, because you got to take the points because you know if you get a stop, you win.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes does what Patrick Mahomes does.
I've heard that narrative a little bit. I don't necessarily agree. I kind of put this one in Andy Reid's hands. Like, that was a great play to draw up.
Which
Corn
one?
dog.
Corn dog? Or are you talking about like the 4th down call,
No, the
3rd down
corn dog
calls?
play. Like, that was a good play to draw up. The whole motion, everything. I thought that was smart.
Well, it's not a new play for them.
But I mean, like, they hadn't. I thought that was the right call for the right time for. I was thinking Kelsey the entire time. I was like, oh, this is gonna if they're gonna put it somewhere,
Right.
and then to not was shocking as all shit.
Mhm.
I mean, even to the guy who caught it, he's like, I'm blacked out.
Yeah, he did say that. So yeah, Patrick Mahomes does his thing, ultimately gets that MVP, but Brock Purdy still had a solid game. There's been a lot of discussion about Brock Purdy throughout the entire year. How do we rate and discuss Brock Purdy in year 2? Let's not forget this, in year 2 of his career, performing the way he has, and do we consider him an elite quarterback, a great quarterback, or just top 10 at this point?
So I heard
I wouldn't
Dan
say
Patrick's
great
show.
or elite. I mean, when you think of the qualities of some of these top tier quarterbacks, when you look at Mahomes, you look at a Burrow, you look at an Allen, a Jackson, they bring a certain dynamic that you really have to prepare for. With Brock, there's nothing that's like, okay, you've got to limit him out, like inside the pocket. You can't let him extend plays. That's just not who he is. Like, he's just your stereotypical old school pocket passer. But he's very good at what he does.
He fits inside that system well. He's there to do the job that the system's built for. Dan Patrick kind of was like championing him while the rest of the guys on that show were kind of saying he was mid. I'm with Dan Patrick. He did the job. Like, I would say he's good, on the way to great.
Mm-hmm. See, I'm not to the point where if I'm a defensive coordinator, I fear Brock Purdy. Now, I fear Patrick Mahomes because if you don't contain him, he's going to extend plays and make the big time throws, or he's going to run for a first down here or there. Same thing.
I felt like the 49ers defense kind of showed the world how to play Patrick Mahomes.
Right, and they had spotted that a couple of times with Bosa, saying he didn't. There were a couple of times where he lost contain, but whenever he didn't let Mahomes step up and make a throw. He pushed him to the sideline.
Right.
Yeah, I thought that was. I didn't think Patrick Mahomes was. I didn't think he was the MVP. I thought the 49ers defense was fantastic at keeping him. They played the game plan they wanted to. That last drive, Patrick Mahomes was good.
He was good. What? He was great, Jim.
Well, if you couldn't give it to him, Jim, who would you have given the MVP to if it couldn't have been Mahomes?
Yeah, who?
Yeah.
There's
I'll
nobody.
concede that.
I mean, there was. I don't think there were any 100-yard receivers. Pacheco didn't have a great game. There were no multiple touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like, he's the only one that makes sense.
I don't know if Pacheco even went 100 yards combined. I think McCaffrey might have been the only one in the game that had over 100 all-purpose yards.
Yeah, McCaffrey was I would say, aside from Mahomes, the best individual performance.
Well, and I think that is I think that Mahomes won it by elimination, not necessarily by standing out.
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. And I think Cower might have said it at the end, like the 49ers didn't play bad. They lost a great game, but they could have beat anybody that day besides the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Like
That's what
they
makes
played really
all-time
well.
teams, right?
They played really, really well for that
A-
game.
A losing Super Bowl effort.
Yeah.
Remember, the best team doesn't always win. It's the team that makes the least mistakes.
Yes.
Well, right,
Yeah.
the 49ers, McCaffrey fumbled in the red zone. They had the punt situation, so
Mm-hmm.
The blocked PAT
blocked PAT. So there's
didn't
three things
score
that
off the
changed
Mahomes
game.
interception.
Yep. It's three
And
things that
some odd injuries at weird times. Kittle
Right.
had to go to the back. Debo was out for a little bit. That hurt.
Drake
Greenlaw.
Yeah.
So
So shit didn't break their way. Is basically how I'm
Yep.
how I'm putting it.
Yep. And last for the Super Bowl, are we experiencing history with this dynasty that is at this point it is brewed and we're seeing how far it's going to go in Kansas City?
So I thought about this. By definition, probably. Is it like the Patriots? There's always a question mark with the Chiefs. Like they haven't solidified it for me. Like
3 and 5 years doesn't solidify it for you?
I understand, and I trust me. I question that myself. I'm being completely honest. And when you compare it to the Patriots, you were like Tom Brady and Belichick. Yes. When you look at Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, there's still that like
Travis Kelce.
I'm talking about just the pairing, right?
Mhm.
I get they have other weapons, and Travis Kelsey's a bad.
No, I know, but I think, so you're because I see more the pairing that makes sense to me is the Brady Gronk, Mahomes Kelsey.
Would you put all three of those? Like, would you put Belichick, Brady, Gronk against Patrick, Kelsey, Andy Reid? Are they equal?
I don't know if they're equal yet, but they
And
are
that's where I'm at.
competitive.
Well,
Well, I think the thing
Mahomes
is now-
statistically is above Brady.
Hey, right.
Well, looking at it now, I mean, you think how long Brady, Gronk, and Belichick were able to do it. Mahomes is still in his mid to late 20s, so he's still
28.
got some time. But I mean, 3 and 5 years and 5 straight conference finals.
That's
Okay, but all of us
Patriot-like.
have said the same thing. We're all going, there's still time. None of us have said they are equal.
No,
And
they're not.
we all
Because-
consider the
because
Patriots
Brady
a
and
dynasty.
Belichick had set that bar so high that I don't know if it's attainable over the next 10 to 12 years of his career.
I
But
also
So are we saying that is the upper echelon?
But at this
you can
pace,
still be a dynasty.
yes, at this pace
Okay.
right now, it's going to exceed that.
I think
but as
they
a
are a
first-round-
dynasty right now.
Yeah.
I
That's
think
what
two
I'm
and three
saying,
Super Bowl
Buff. You
five-
can be a dynasty and not be the Patriots.
They are the dynasty that this generation will remember.
Which is exactly what I just said. You can be a dynasty and not be the Patriots.
And not be better than the Patriots.
Right.
Right.
Either way,
For
we're
now.
splitting hairs.
For now. We still have time.
Okay.
We still have time.
And I think people like me and you who are older are going to always have it's the same LeBron versus Jordan. Our dynasty in our minds, at least for me, are the Patriots.
Bulls.
Sure. In my mind, it's the Patriots. I think in others, it's the Cowboys. And it's hard for me to say the Chiefs are a dynasty yet. Win next year, going to be hard to make that argument.
They're a dynasty. I don't think there's a question.
I'm saying the Patriots. Like, if they win next year, yeah, you're a Patriot level dynasty for me.
How many Super Bowls the Cowboys won in the 90s?
The Patriots never win 3 years in a row. I mean, this is a back-to-back.
Right. That's where I'm at. Like, yes, I'll concede you're a dynasty. Patriots level, not yet. Win 3 in a row, Patriots level.
Mhm.
Are we going to talk about commercials? Or are we just going to glaze over that?
Have at it, because
There
commercials
weren't
are-
any. That's my point.
Exactly. This is we have reached. I mean, there was the Duncan Ben Affleck commercial that I saw some replays of. I mean, Ben Affleck and that whole crew. Yeah, I mean, what's the value in spending $7 million just for the airtime at this point, whenever you can put it out in so many other ways?
That's the thing. A lot of the ones I liked were I like kind of already seen. They were like released early.
No, I like the NFL one with OCU Manura at the end.
I don't remember
Okay.
that one.
You said you didn't see that one?
No, I didn't.
It was like that take on NFL Play 60 with all the players. Or remember how it was last year, 2 years ago? They were all in the ballroom trying to tackle each other or whatever.
Yeah. Mhm.
It started off as kind of that, but it was a young kid in, I can't remember which African country. I want to say Ghana, maybe.
Mhm.
And then at the end, he runs into OCU Manura, and he's like, "Listen, this could not only be your dream, but it can be in reality, just like it was for me." And they're talking about how they're trying to grow the game internationally. Yes, ma'am, with her hand raised.
I have some commercials I wrote down.
Oh, great.
Alex, are we killing you? Like, what's your problem?
Oh, yeah, Alex, sorry we're boring you.
No, I was just kind of stretching my back. Like I was like letting my like back and neck hang.
Jesus, we barely do this anymore. And now you're like disrespecting Nate while he speaks.
I'm 30. I'm listening. I heard everything he said. I was stretching my back.
Well, now we got a guest who wants to chime in.
Have at it.
I wrote down 3 of my favorite Super Bowl commercials.
Go ahead. It's your moment.
Okay, so I liked the nerd cluster jelly guy that was like dancing and then all the little nerds fell down on him. My mom and I thought it was adorable.
I don't remember that one.
It was cute. I really liked the E-Trade Baby Pickleball. You can't tell me.
They were funny. I remember those.
Yeah, but it's not as good as the old school E-Trade babies. But go ahead.
But they're so cute. And then, and I know Nate will like this one too, the Uber Eats one with your girlfriend.
Oh, yeah, where something about Uber Eats makes you forget something, and Jennifer Aniston forgot who David Schwimmer was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. Deadpool
That was
trailer.
funny.
Deadpool trailer. Get that movie in there.
The Doritos one was good. They always put out a good commercial.
I was very happy we had a Clydesdale commercial.
With a puppy.
That pleased me.
With the puppy.
All right, Muff. We're good. I mean, you're not a
No,
commercial
you're the
guy.
ones who wanted to talk about it. I just
You're
didn't.
not a commercial guy. I get it.
I didn't tune into them well. I'm more of the like, hey, why am I going to spend $7 million whenever I can post something on YouTube or put it on my socials?
Well, the big thing was, did you guys see it's not pronounced Timu, it's pronounced Temu.
Temu?
Yeah.
Well, I'm
They
a little
said-
mad at Temu right now because my order was supposed to be here and it's still in China, it looks like.
Yeah, I always thought Timu was a scam.
The kids in the sweatshop aren't done with your thing yet.
So I thought it was a scam too, but the stuff's pretty legit.
I feel like
I know
it's
they
still a
always say
scam.
the commercial said shop like a billionaire.
I feel like China's gonna steal all of our info off of Timu.
You're on TikTok 9 hours a day.
You don't know me.
Oh, believe me, I do.
You don't know my life.
All right, Sam, any other thoughts? Taylor Swift thoughts?
Why'd you open that fucking can of worms?
No, not really. Okay, so my sister is not a big sports person.
Sure.
Is this about Taylor Swift?
It is.
Okay.
Can we get the Cliff Notes version, please?
So
Thanks.
she hates Taylor Swift as well.
Okay.
The Super Bowl the other night. She was like, I wish they would just stop showing stupid Taylor Swift. I'm like, they didn't even show her.
They did 5+ times, just so we're clear, during the
Okay,
game.
but,
Wait, more, yeah, in one quarter.
but when she said it, they hadn't even showed her.
Okay.
And I'm like, you hate Brittany Mahomes too, which I don't really like Brittany Mahomes.
I don't think they ever hardly showed her during the game. They showed her
They
pregame.
showed her a lot after.
Well, I mean, her
Yeah,
husband's MVP.
Other players' families there.
Oh.
Are we gonna get to a gist here? Where you going?
Yeah, where are we going with this?
Oh, okay. So she hates Taylor Swift. So then
Yeah, you said that already.
She's sitting there and she just can't understand the point of football.
Okay.
Like, she
What
thought
does this
it
have
was
to do with Taylor
stupid.
Swift?
I don't think
Wait
this
until the end
here.
as a man.
You asked if I had anything else to add. I'm adding something.
What's
Well,
the
add it.
story?
So you guys would be really disappointed, and Alex is gonna definitely say something to her next time he sees her because she just thinks that it's really stupid that people are getting a ball and then running with it, and then they drop the ball, and then they pick it back up, and then they start running again. So we might need to give Ashley a lesson in footballisms.
Is that your contribution?
Is this wasn't about Taylor Swift at all?
You asked if I had anything to add, and
Well,
it
we will
reminds
make sure next time not to.
Sam, here can be your contribution. Who was all standing next to Taylor Swift? Blake Lively,
Blake
Ice
Lively,
Spice.
There was a blonde girl that we don't know who it was.
the
Yeah.
blonde girl that you don't know. Blake Lively.
We
has
know who
blonde
Blake
hair.
Lively is.
Well, I need to see a picture, and then maybe I can tell you because Mama Kelsey was there too.
It was not.
It wasn't Mama
Kelsey.
Kelsey.
Oh my God. We're not done.
Okay, I'm finding a picture.
All right.
It was like it from left to right, looking in the camera view. It was Ice Spice, Unknown Woman, Taylor,
Yes,
and
Blake.
Blake.
All right. As Sam's trying to make some legitimate contributions to the conversation, let's get
Rude.
into other news, starting off with the NFL awards. Before we get into some of the controversial discussions, let's first take a little gander at some of the people that you may not even realize are part of the voting group. So you guys know that Tom Brady actually had a vote for the NFL awards because he is officially a member of Fox Sports.
Yay.
Tom did what for Fox Sports this year, everybody? Nothing. Yet he got a vote in these awards. There's a gentleman from Phoenix Radio named Howard Balzer. Boomer Esiason gets a vote, which I think that kind
I don't
of...
understand why you brought up Howard. What's wrong with Howard?
He works for Phoenix Radio.
So?
Definitely a hotbed of NFL thoughts and a major sports outlet. Don't think so. Boomer Esiason has one. Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk. And I think it's very interesting that somebody from Pro Football Focus, actually, I think multiple people from Pro Football Focus get a vote, as well as Jim Miller and Rich Gannon, who are with Sirius XM.
I need to understand what point you're driving here. Like the Tom Brady thing, I think was interesting, but where are you driving with these others?
I don't know, it's just interesting that these people that we don't even, I mean, most of these people, this isn't even a list of all of the other names that you probably have no idea who they are. I think it's interesting that we have people voting for these awards that the general populace isn't aware of.
But who would you want to vote for it?
People that have played in the NFL that I recognize who
But
can.
Boomer is on there, and you brought him up as interesting. Why is that interesting?
Because I think he was one of the only people from CBS Sports who gets a vote. There's a lot of other people on there that I would not put ahead
Rich
of him.
Gannon played in the NFL.
So did Jim Miller.
That's right.
I'm just saying, there's if you want to go down the whole list, Jim, I can find that. But
I
just wanted
guess
to
I
point
just
out-
don't understand what you're highlighting. Also, Alex, I'm sorry that we're fucking boring you.
We have an update
Still on
who
mute. You're still on
mystery-
mute.
I have an answer.
Who is it?
Oh, sorry, I'm very congested, so I keep sniffling and coughing, so I've been muting myself between. I said
Oh.
sorry that I'm listening and just leaning back in my office chair.
You're not engaged.
I'm listening to your entire thing while you just attack Muff.
Who is it, Sam?
Ashley Avignon. It's her longtime friend and stylist.
Okay, there's the answer.
And they met through a mutual friend, Emma Stone.
Well, if she had a vote in this NFL awards, Muff would find that interesting.
I would. Listen, I don't know who I expected to be having all these votes, but I don't know.
It's like the Hall of Fame vote for baseball. All these people that are voting shouldn't be voters.
Right.
And I guess my
There's
question is like,
a
who
lot
do
of
you
them are
want?
random ass media people that I just don't understand why that's who we turn to.
So, would you like the players themselves to vote?
I would like some player vote in it.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. I'm not busting you up because I think you're wrong. I'm busting you up for like, what is your solution?
That
I mean, don't the players get a little bit of a vote on the Pro Bowl too? Like, isn't it a weighted thing?
I think it's coaches. I don't know if players get all pro votes. I think the Pro Bowl is coaches and some media members.
Like, yeah, if you want to give the media people some votes, fine. But I think you should weight it between players, media, coaches,
Right. This is primarily
Did the
media.
fans have a vote on this?
And
They
the
should.
average.
Same
Well,
thing. Just do a weighted average.
Can somebody ask the dead body over there what he thinks?
Nope, not helping.
Well, here we go, Alex. Myles Garrett wins Defensive Player of the Year award, and most people are pointing to his Pro Football Focus stats, which have not had any importance in this discussion prior to this year, as many believe, especially in Pittsburgh, that TJ Watt was the big old snub in this one, as he led all of the typical statistical categories that people point to for Defensive Player of the Year.
Literally every single one.
Aside from, was it rush win percentage against those people that are in front of you? Myles Garrett had what, like 1 or 2 sacks in his last 6 games, none in the for playoff game.
Who went
you
farther
put
in
a-
the playoffs? Steelers or Browns?
Yes, this isn't about. This isn't.
This is a
who
regular
plays
season
playoffs.
awards,
This
Jim.
is in.
It says
regular,
defensive player of year.
Regular season awards,
then
Jim.
they need to clarify and not vote on it prior to the end of the season.
So Myles Garrett
then the
played in
season,
one
then
more
the voting
game.
should start right now.
So Myles Garrett had one more game advantage for his
I just
team.
asked a
play.
question.
These
Right.
are regular season awards, Jim.
Thanks. Ginger's getting
But
hot
still,
over
it's like, even if it were a Bucks player for me, or if a Chargers player for Jim,
there.
I mean,
no.
I'm just saying, for the most average fan,
Well,
if you
up
look at
prior to this
your
year,
favorite player on your team and you see those kind of numbers, how in the hell does he not get it? Like, what more do you want?
Second time this has happened to him.
Is it a conspiracy?
I'm not saying it's
You ask.
conspiracy.
Not what we're saying. Are we saying that he's pissed off these interesting voters?
All of these statistics that people were reporting towards were, what was it, win rate, but there was no outcome on the win rate, right? It's like saying I was able to hit the ball the most times ever in baseball, but I did not have the best average.
yes, but every time I hit it, somebody caught it.
Right. So it's obviously I'm
Like-
still the best because I hit it every time.
It's like he had more, like significantly more, like tackles, sacks, tackles for loss, fumbles, fumble recoveries. He had an interception. He had, I mean, like, I don't.
But your team was not great.
Yeah, but this isn't a team award. This is the defensive player of the year.
I don't understand where the team comes into this, Jim.
Yeah, this isn't.
I'm trying to
team
figure out
award
what your
whatsoever.
argument is here, because
TJ
The
Watt led
stats were
every
great.
statistical
TJ Watt
category.
led every single statistical category. He deserved to
but
be.
we're
the
saying that the
defensive player of year.
voters voted based on how the team performed.
No, the voters were pointing towards, and the media were pointing towards, these pro football focused statistics that have no bearing on the outcomes of the typical statistical categories that people point towards.
What were they pointing towards?
The win rate versus his opponent. He more often beat his opponent, which is subjective based on how they were working at it, and that's what people are pointing towards to support Myles Garrett. Even those wins against his opponents or the blockers, and he was double teamed more, did not. The outcome was not tackles for loss, sacks, at the same rate as TJ Watt. They were pointing at bogus stats. Bogus stats that
Why
have
do
no
we
outcome
think
based.
Why do we think he was shafted?
He led every statistical category.
I understand what he did.
That
I
is the
understand the
shafting.
stats.
Okay,
That
so I
is the
think he was
Why
shafted
do we
because
think
his
He's asking
stats
you
were better.
why.
Why? Why was he shafted?
No, because they made stupid choices. Because the people, this was Muff's point earlier, is why you
That's
just
where
have
I'm
like
headed.
a lot of random people weighing in on these awards.
And
then
especially when
get
you have Pro
random
Football
things.
Focus has an influence maybe to other media, to other social outlets. That's what I'm worried about, is that a statistic that Pro Football Focus, I'm not going to say they made up, but they have highlighted, was so integral in this discussion, and they have a voting interest.
To what end? So why would they do that? What benefit is it to them?
Because
Pro
now
Football-
everyone's talking about Pro Football Focus.
And the statistic that they're using and saying this is a legitimate stat to support players being evaluated.
So they voted for Myles Garrett to legitimize their own bogus stat.
I mean, obviously, because that was the
And
only
that's what
stat
we're
that,
saying they did it for.
that's the only stat that he was winning in.
Literally the only one.
Okay,
Yeah, every other
that's what I'm
tradition.
asking.
If you look on paper at every other like traditional stat, not counting into account the Pro Football Focus, like just normal football stats, TJ Watt was a better player.
Did the Pro Football Focus have more voting pull than anyone else?
No, I think they had like two. There's no like smoking gun on from like CBS Sports or anybody that has significantly more votes. I would say it's pretty widespread in that way that they
Do you
bring
see
in
how
a lot
that
of different.
debunks your argument then?
But Pro Football Focus itself can influence other media very easily. Hey
They
guys,
influenced Tom
get
Brady,
get on
Boomer
our side.
Esiason, Mike Florio. They influenced that.
I think they could influence Mike Florio very
To
easily.
what end?
To legitimize the stats that they're putting up.
Don't they have to then rope him in on it? Like this is flawed argument here.
No, it's not. Why are the reason, Jim? What would you say is the reason why TJ Watt didn't win?
I'm not sure, but like you've led this down a path of like the voters are bogus because like they're interesting.
The
But
voters are bogus because the best player statistically did not win, and that's what we usually point towards. In a statistics era, the statistical leader did not win.
But you've called into question people like Tom Brady, Boomer Esiason.
I've called into question all of the voters. If you want me to list them all, I can tell you.
But these guys have no reason to shaft TJ Watt.
I think the big question that he's trying to get at here, Jim, is why would you vote for Miles over TJ given the numbers side by side?
I agree with that, but I don't
Right.
understand like why we're going the vote like.
So could you make an argument for someone why they voted for Miles over TJ?
No, I could not.
Then that's why I'm saying something silly is afoot, because how can that many people vote for Myles Garrett over TJ Watt?
And I'm saying, are you insinuating that people like Tom Brady and Boomer Esiason are in on this something silly? That's what I'm saying.
I would say former players probably not. But the
Okay.
Howard Balzers, the Mike Florios, the Sam Monsons of the world, who have, I think, more pull or have more votes than the Boomer Esiasons, Tom Brady's of the world.
Okay. To legitimize a stat that was made up by Pro Football Focus.
Correct.
Okay.
And also, Joe Flacco wins Comeback Player of the Year over DeMar Hamlin and Baker Mayfield.
Got into a huge argument over this. People very much wanted DeMar to have this award.
Didn't deserve it.
I said the same thing, and people
Football
said I was a
award, though.
heartless.
It's not a life award.
Right.
Not a living award.
No. And I really probably would have given it to Baker over Joe Flacco.
You know, I could see that argument.
I would have been fine with either Baker or Joe, but the fact that Joe literally came off the couch, showed up in Cleveland, and balled out, absolutely, I have no problem him winning that award.
Yeah. I guess if you look at like where are they coming back from?
Mm-hmm.
But I like
And if you look at it from where they come back from, the people I got in an argument with like would say death.
Yeah, he came back.
But you didn't come back and have a great season and play.
Right, but what did he do? He was only dressed for like 3 or 4 games.
That was my argument, and they made me feel heartless.
Well, he also, I mean, he had some mistakes that were very towards the end of the season for the Bills that had a bearing on some of their games. Like he had a false start penalty on a punt, which is really about the only facet of the game he was really participating in with special teams. So, I mean, it's not like he balled out.
Yep.
So, I mean, I understand that without Joe Flacco doing it, DeMar Hamlin was probably going to win. But Joe Flacco was an outlier to everything else that was going on.
I concur.
So I'm okay with Joe Flacco winning that. In the golf world.
But so there's not silly. Okay. Yep. Go ahead. Golf.
What do you think? Do you think there's silliness there?
I don't understand. Like, to go back to the defensive player, why only silliness for one? Like, wouldn't it be silliness across the board?
What Joe Flacco?
I mean, maybe not the comeback player because that's a feel good thing, but like, wouldn't there be other statistical awards that they would lean?
Well, I don't know who won all the other awards.
I'm going to deep dive this.
C.J. Stroud was far and away the winner of the Offensive Rookie of the Year. I don't think there was any debate there. on who should have won that. So while Jim's doing a dive in there, the Waste Management Open in Phoenix does not disappoint on the golf course or off the golf course, as Nick Taylor came back on Sunday to win in a playoff against Charlie Hoffman just about the time the Super Bowl started. But the real star, as always, is the par 3 16th, and the craziness videos all over the map that continued to come up. You had people mudsliding, people barely able to walk, making it wherever they needed to be very, very gingerly. And an announcement, I believe this was on Saturday specifically, that they suspended alcohol sales in the middle of the round. That is hilarious to me. We have some final stats looking at some of the law enforcement situation. They had 653 calls for service, 54 arrests, 211 ejections, and they trespassed 73 people, all-time highs compared to the last 2 years in 2021, or in 2022 and 2023.
That's wasted at the waste.
That was. Were there any specific videos anybody saw?
Just the
I
one
think I
where
saw one of a guy ended up at a bunker.
Oh yeah, Alex saw that one.
the what?
The guy that ended up in the bunker.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
and
also a
that
guy that jumped into the lake. He actually like ran a full hole. He ran 16 and then ran to 17, I believe.
that one, and then the guy that was walking down the road backward for a while, like he was the flow was going forward, and he like couldn't start momentum going the other way again, so he's just like going backward.
It was a Kenny Chesney show moment.
Yeah, and then he started going forward again.
Right? The mudsliding. Saw some people not make the slide successfully. The fact that you have to suspend alcohol sales is hilarious to me. Like that's what that's known for, and they're like, "No, no, guys, you've gone too far."
Yeah, seeing videos of this made me think it was like the real life version of like Happy Gilmore versus Shooter McGavin.
Yeah,
It
that's a good
indeed
point.
was. It indeed was. So yeah, it happened. Nick Taylor won. Good news we have. This is the start of, for many, the golf season, as we are only about a month away from the Masters. Moving into the college sports world, Nick Saban is joining ESPN to primarily work as an analyst on game day, but he's also going to make appearances for the NFL draft and for SEC Media Days. How do we like Saban joining the crew, and do we think this is the official end for Lee Corso?
It's not the end, but it is the slow transition.
Yeah, he's gonna start riding off in the sunset here very shortly.
Yeah, he's gonna. I think that's it. It's gonna be like special pop buttons here and there versus.
I mean, even over the past couple years, like he was sick at home and like he didn't travel during COVID, and has been making as many appearances. But once Lee is finally pushed off well, not literally, but once he's like pushed off the set there, I mean, it's going to be so different not seeing the headgear selections and everything we've come to know and love over the past, I don't know how many years.
You'll see Herb Street go too, and you'll see the headset thing go to McCaffrey.
McAfee?
Yeah, McAfee. I'm sorry.
What'd you say with Herb Street?
You'll see him leave too when Lee goes.
I mean, they definitely have a connection. That's interesting. I wouldn't expect
He was
him to
gonna
leave.
go. He was thinking about going before,
Was he?
and Lee talked him into staying.
To go like pursue more of the NFL stuff, or just
Yeah.
to kind of make his own departure?
More of the booth kind of thing.
Okay. All right. Jim, did you find anything interesting?
I see your point with the voters. I think
I know other awards. That's what I
Right.
thought you were looking into.
no. I looked at them. I'm confused by like. There's the NFL and there's the AP, and there is some distinction there. I see your point. I can see it a little bit.
All right. Time for everybody's favorite discussion. What's happening in Columbus, Jim, as we've had a major hiring for the Buckeyes in their offensive coordinator role.
So what's his face? Left, went to Boston College. That's how
Bill
we treat
O'Brien.
this now. Nah, what's his face?
Bill O'Brien, got it.
Left after I think 2 weeks. of having the job, maybe 3. And the sky fell for maybe a day. Maybe a day. Everybody thought Ryan Day was an idiot. What were you doing? And then Chip Kelly from USC or UCLA left the head coaching job to become Ohio State's offensive coordinator, and all was right with the world again. Everything was fine.
So Alex and I were saying before you guys jumped on, I was curious to get your take on this because I feel like this is the kind of splash hire that Columbus direly wanted.
This is definitely a wait and see.
This is a wait and see. Who the hell did they want?
Oh no, they wanted him, but this is very much now is Ryan Day legitimately going to give the reins completely to Chip Kelly? Chip Kelly was Ryan Day's mentor. All signs point that direction, but now it's let's see the spring game.
Well, we're going to use the spring game as the measuring stick because it's the only measuring stick. I get that.
Yes, it's it's like cocaine. We're waiting for the next drug, bud. 26 days.
Jesus, this is just the Columbus attitudes.
How much realistically is he going to get done in 26 days? That's going to make Columbus go, oh yeah, here we go.
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Nate. It doesn't matter, Nate. The 26-day things means nothing to them. They expect instant results.
I think it's
cocaine.
See, are they going to go more to like the Chip Kelly offense of Oregon, where they're going to be so dynamic? Are they going to run more zone read, things like that? I'm just kind of curious to see, especially like week 1, week 2 in the season, which gosh feels like forever till that happens. But what kind of offense are we going to see?
I think it's 200 plus days till football starts.
20.
Not for me.
Well, that's true.
I think it's 203.
Yeah, we're just over 200. Let that one sink in, Alex. Let that one sink in.
We're in the dark
baseball
days.
to watch, guys.
We're in the dark days. But no, I mean that's definitely like waiting on that spring game. Spring game will definitely be a holiday in town, and we'll see what happens.
It'll be the day of mourning because if the offense doesn't put up 500 points, then people are like, "Oh my God, we're not going to win."
Well, the
Why did we hire Chip Kelly?
Conversation is going to be what quarterback's going to play with what starters,
Mm-hmm.
and then did we get enough of 3 and 4 for them to stay? Because the transfer portal's open again.
Yeah.
And then it's hold your breath until the portal's closed. And then it's dark. The dark days have started for sure.
I feel like the portal at Ohio State is like the Dr. Pepper commercial.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
That's the best way to put it.
Good.
And then once it closes, you'll hear it's just darkness, sadness and darkness. And then you'll hear the whispers.
And then we get excited late July, early August.
Yeah, that's when the whispers. Camp will open as soon as camp is legit. Like the town moves.
All right, and everybody's excited.
Yeah, and life is back
because we can win, and nobody showed us that anybody can beat us yet. Right, so it's all positive. Until that first game, we're like 2 plays out of 100 in the game, they don't do well, and it's like, we were perfect. It's back to the drawing board, everybody.
Like you would think right now that it has snowed, blizzards, all flowers and life is dead, and then as soon as camp kicks back, I mean, Ohio State fans is like Ohio weather. Spring game is like false spring. Like, oh, summer. Then spring game's over, and everything's dead again. Summer, we all hate it because we're miserable. Everybody leaves town. And then that August hits. And the spring flowers, or the flowers bloom, and everything's great.
Is Punxsutawney Phil's prediction have any bearing on Columbus's mood?
No.
Okay. Because it's all about it's the spring game. That's it.
Yeah.
Not spring coming early, it's the spring game.
Yeah.
Spring does not happen until the spring game occurs.
Valentine's Day is a big deal in Columbus for some reason. Like,
does it mark 3 weeks until the spring game?
Maybe.
Is that why?
But like every man, like people talk like, hey, don't forget tomorrow's Valentine's Day. It's Valentine's Day. Don't forget. it's the kindest you'll see is the February 13th, where everybody's telling everybody not to forget about tomorrow.
Hey, happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
So you think it's one of Ryan Day's favorite days tomorrow because all the focus is on Valentine's Day and not what's going on?
him.
Football?
Probably.
That's what it
that's-
is. It's focusing the attention away.
The big thing is that Ohio State basketball sucks. Men's basketball sucks so bad that nobody's really talking about football right now.
And is that a problem too?
Oh, it's great.
What if
Chris
they
Holtman.
what if they were doing really well? Wouldn't that be positive?
That would be bad for Ohio State football.
Right. Why would it be bad? Because they're not talking about them?
Because it's like, well, why are all the other teams good and you're not?
They're not playing.
It doesn't matter.
This is outrageous. All right.
Like,
In some
man,
other
why aren't you like the basketball team?
who wins in the regular season and loses in the tournament?
Yeah, right.
I
Fair.
mean, I think this is a very good correlation and parallel. In other football news, Dan Quinn becomes the head coach for the Washington Commanders, leaving his Dallas defensive coordinator job and Jerry Jones. Feel like this is a good move, good hire.
Yeah,
Sure.
give him a chance. See how it goes.
I mean, I don't know who else was left out there other than maybe Vrabel, who they thought they were going to go get.
Yeah, well, they had Bieniemy sitting right there, right? I feel like this at this point, especially with the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl again, I feel like Bieniemy may have been riding some coattails to greatness.
I don't like that narrative, but what are you gonna do? It's natural.
I don't like the narrative either, but I mean the proof is in the outcomes here.
Is
But
it?
yeah, I
though?
think you. Well, then you knew with a brand new regime of owners, they weren't going to keep everybody. They were going to clean house and bring in who they wanted.
Oh, I agree. I mean, Bieniemy's not staying, correct?
No, Dan Quinn already said he is not going to be retained on staff.
Right? I mean, there's got to be something that we don't know about Bieniemy, and I don't know what it is. It may not be like nefarious, but maybe it's how he functions within this coaching environment and this team environment. I have no idea, but he's not getting any love. That's for damn sure. Cliff Kingsbury ends up with the Commanders as their OC, not the Raiders, as was first being reported.
That's odd.
Hey, there's some hit pieces out there on Cliff Kingsbury and everything that led up to this and his performance and what it looks like over the past 2 or 3 years after he was let go in for the Cardinals. So I don't think there's a lot of people on Cliff Kingsbury's side right now.
I don't think this is a good fit. I thought the Raiders was a better fit for him.
I think there's more of an opportunity with Washington. New coaching staff. You're going to have a lot of cap space to potentially bring in some free agents.
Number 2
You're with
overall
that
pick.
coach that's been there, done it before. Where Antonio Pierce to me is still in that you got to kind of prove it phase. I mean, he was an interim for how many games last year? I don't know. We'll say 6. I don't know.
And they have the number 2 overall pick, so there's always there's already the speculation about are they going to try to move up to get Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams, yep.
So
Yeah.
there's a lot that goes on there too. The Seahawks hired Mike McDonald. I don't think we talked about this before to end their head coaching search. Mike McDonald coming over from the Ravens.
What's the outlook for Geno there, Alex?
I mean, as far as I know, roll with him.
There it is.
I mean, that's. I don't think that they have anyone ready to jump into his spot. So.
Yep.
And
for the Chargers, Jim,
really to lose that spot unless they got a really young.
Oh boy, what just happened? Alex was talking.
I thought
I
Alex
think it
was
cut
done.
out for him.
I thought Alex was done. Alex was done.
No, I think it froze over me finishing for you and you froze, but we're good. I just said that I don't see Geno getting kicked out of the spot unless someone really remarkable came along younger and could do it.
And for Jim, the Chargers have an offensive coordinator, Greg Roman, and a passing game coordinator, and Marcus Brady. Solidifying, I think Jay Harbaugh has also joined the staff for Jim Harbaugh. Jim, do you have any updates on your fandom sale? And have there been any suitors? Has anybody made any interesting offers?
I have not had any new suitors. I will say that much. and my fandom's still on the market. I'm still debating. I have a hard time with this. I'm still struggling.
What are the current offers on the table?
The Browns.
That's about it. I mean,
Well,
we've
that's-
offered the Steelers.
The Steelers, yeah, I gotta be fair. The Steelers are still out there.
Is Nate offering the Bucks up? Or does he not want your bad NFL juju?
Nate has not discussed it.
Nate?
I mean, I'm not going to peer pressure anyone into being a Baker Mayfield fan.
I feel like that's good. Thank you, Nate. I appreciate you.
I mean, Alex, you want to go for the Seahawks too? Little Gino? Jim's not going to go for the Seahawks because he's not going to cheer for a West Virginia quarterback, but you can make a statement.
I don't feel passionately enough about the Seahawks as a team. I feel passionately about Geno Smith as a player, so that's what I would be marketing for. So
The Seahawks are a viable option for me for
Okay.
the Seattle
Yeah, that's true.
contention that
you
we
would
keep
Seattle
all the
sports
things,
fan.
Yep.
Seattle
to make it a
Supersonics.
whole thing. Man, if Seattle Supersonics came back,
I mean, they exist. They're
yeah.
just Oklahoma City now.
But if it was a team, I think that would be an easy pick for me.
What about the Raiders?
So I thought about that during the Super Bowl. Here's the thing: they are the Chargers' enemy, like rival. I could do that, but
I think
then
this is going full heel.
I could, and I'm thinking about it. So like it's on the table, but man, that'd be like committing a sin. I don't know. Here's what else I thought about. Right? What if Harbaugh gets the Urban Meyer treatment?
He's already been in the NFL. He's not going to.
But what if
He knows how to exist in the NFL. Urban Meyer did not.
he did not?
There's the difference. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. Jim Harbaugh knows how to be in the NFL. Urban Meyer didn't.
Can a man dream?
You can, but would you then go back to the Chargers?
I think so.
So as long as Jim Harbaugh is there, you're no longer a Chargers fan. But if
Yeah.
once he leaves, you can go back.
I can go back.
I feel like this is no good. I don't like this.
All
The
right.
Jim-
Once you're gone, you're gone. You're gone like a
when, is
freight
the,
train.
when does the fandom transfer portal end?
Ooh,
I think the Hall of Fame game.
okay. So you give yourself some time. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Also gives you a lot of time to like pick a good team.
And see that I struggle with this too.
Get through the
right?
draft. I think getting through the draft is a good idea.
Drafting some free agency.
Like,
Yeah.
what happens if I pick the Chiefs? Then I'm going to hear about it.
Yeah, you're a bandwagon. We love Taylor Swift. We know.
Right. Because I thought about that to bust on Alex. Like, I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm officially pro Swifty.
No,
But,
you
like,
can't do that now. Too late.
too late. I'm too late on that. So I don't know. I'm hurting.
All right. TBD. If anybody's got any offers for Jim, let us know.
Please.
The Steelers hire Artie Smith as their offensive coordinator, coming from the Falcons. Alex, how are we feeling about Arthur Smith coming in to Pittsburgh?
I'm okay with him. I'm okay with it. Let's do it. See what happens. I don't feel strongly enough about him to be like, wow, I'm so excited, or wow, this is a terrible pickup. So I'm just gonna let it play out and see how he does.
I think we're going to see a lot more traditional run situations and not the zone read out of the shotgun. So I think that's good. Steelers have released Mitch Trubisky, Presley Harvin III, and offensive lineman Chukwuma Okorafor to save $10 million plus in the cap. And for next year, many are speculating Justin Fields. I just hope they continue to develop the offensive line.
Wait,
Yeah.
speculating that Justin Fields goes to the Steelers?
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
that's true speculation out there.
That may sway my fandom.
Well, Justin Fields to Pittsburgh. Justin Fields has an Arthur Smith connection, I believe, and that was, I think, the type of offense they were hoping to get out of Desmond Ridder in Atlanta that just didn't work out.
Man,
So I also saw, don't be surprised if the Steelers go out and sign Tannehill.
Yes, he has a connection with Arthur Smith, I believe, there too.
Yeah,
Can
when
you-
Smith was the OC in Tennessee.
Yeah.
if my fandom went to the Steelers, oh,
That'd be wild.
You wouldn't be able to yell at Alex and I because you'd be right there with us.
right.
Nate would be overwhelmed.
That'd be a lot.
Nate would be dumbfounded.
That also is.
I don't know if I can do
And
it.
and lastly, Jim, I'm curious on your thoughts here. Boston College hiring Bill O'Brien.
I'm excited for Boston College.
Okay.
I think it's a good hire. I am excited to see. I think this is a good jumping off point for Bill O'Brien. We all know he's not staying there, right? Like that's not happening.
Well, it's just like his Penn State days,
Ugh, okay.
right? He went there for the reason of getting out, just like when he was in Alabama, he went there to get out.
Or do we think he heard all the noise in Columbus? It's like, okay, I'm not welcomed here. I got to go somewhere else.
No, they wanted him. They were very pumped with his approach to things. Like they liked that he jumped in with both feet, so they wanted him there. I think the head coaching job, I think this was more lucrative for him.
You think people wanted him more than Chip Kelly?
That's a tough. That's yes.
They wanted him more. Is that just because the connection to Ryan Day, and it's like, oh, we've got another Ryan, like a Ryan Day, not disciple, but somebody in that tree.
Yeah, I don't think that people were real comfortable. I don't think people are comfortable with Chip Kelly yet.
Okay.
Whereas like the diehard Big Ten fans were like, well, he was at Penn State. Like, if we get rid of Ryan Day, like in the back of their minds, if we got rid of Ryan Day, we'd have Bill O'Brien.
Okay. If you don't feel the same way about Chip Kelly, that's fair.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
It's because he's a West Coast guy.
Yeah.
All right. Any other topics for today, gents?
No, feel good about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think we did good.
All right. Well, that wraps up another episode of Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff. Make sure you get with us on all the socials. TBD when the next episode will be. If at the very least you will hear from us in about a month as we prepare for the NCAA basketball tournament, where at the very least Alex, Nate, and myself are going to have an outing at a casino to play some bets during the first weekend. So get excited for
Jim's
that.
invited.
Jim is invited, but we don't know if Jim will be able to attend. So until that time, make sure you let all your friends know about this podcast and all the fun things we do. And you can do so by telling a friend, making a friend, be a friend.
Friend.